do we want to, I mean, I know John is the chair. I
Yeah.
haven't heard from him.
Did he? I thought he sent an email that he might have a timing conflict with baseball for his son. Ree, was it just you and I that was on that?
Oh, I don't know if I missed that.
Hold on.
I don't think I saw that, but but I tend to miss emails on my Gmail.
I don't
so-
remember seeing that either, but maybe I didn't get it.
Oh yeah, I maybe let last minute scratch.
Yeah, it was just you
Tomorrow's
and I, Ree.
meeting. My son's baseball schedule may shift due to weather, and the game starts at 12. I've got to be there.
Okay.
If the materials available to review before the meeting, please send them along. I'll comment just in case I missed meeting. Okay, so I missed that email.
Yeah, sorry. It was
yeah.
at the bottom of a totally different thread.
I know I would because I
I
read
just had
I
this
read his
feeling
first
of
line
getting
and I
it.
was like, great, okay. All right, so we can send him those
Mm-hmm.
materials, but I guess Emily, Aaron, I'm not sure who's meant to take over.
Yeah, so let's, I will take over.
I nominate Emily.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor? Aye. So, just some logistics, I guess. Aaron, did you have any questions on the meetings from April 4th?
No.
I did not either, so those minutes will be approved. And then with that, I can hand it over to the agency team for an update.
Amazing. Okay. Update is we want to share the outreach materials with you all, get your approval on them. We'll share them with John as well after this meeting. And barring any significant feedback, we'll send you the final materials for you all and for the town to just send out to the world. And so that will mean that the website will be live. Of course, Emily, we can, once you feel the recording is ready, we can go ahead and add that to the website, but we want to just like get everything out there, and we can always make adjustments as we go too.
Okay.
So, and I think we are making adjustments to the website as we speak too, and so we'll kind of keep building that out and updating that too.
Okay.
Share screen for the, what do we want to start with? The website or the outreach materials?
I think we can do the outreach materials. We looked at the website last week, so I don't think we need to go through that. I think we just need to, yeah, it'll just be part of what we make public.
So we have 3 drafts here. I'll open all of them in turn. We have the postcard draft for obviously postcard format handed out, a social post, so that's like a square Instagram or Facebook, and a yard sign, which is more, what's the term we use, like evergreen, like go to this website for information, but not like on this date this thing is happening.
Great.
So let's start with the postcard. Is this view okay for everyone?
Yeah.
Ray, do you wanna chat?
Yeah, so the purpose of the postcard, it's 2-sided. The first side is informational about the public workshop. We imagine we would like to get this printed next week and drop this off at various businesses throughout town. Also work with you all to drop it off in places that you know people frequent. But imagined, sorry about that. We imagined that so this will be kind of a handout, and on the other side will be kind of more a way to check the website for updates. And then of course, if I think we could probably remove the ability for people to write on it, but imagined that we would just have like the same blurb that's on the website about the project in more detail. So we can make that update and send this back to you all. But if we go back up to the first page, so we felt like, I mean, it's a weighty topic, so it does feel kind of funny to say family-friendly drop-in workshop about the future of prison site. But we do want to emphasize that like this is meant to be it is a weighty topic, but that this is meant to be an opportunity for people, regardless of kids can come, they are welcome to join. There will be things that are accessible to a variety of ages. So we want to make sure that feels open, and that people can engage in that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, just a couple of things, I might, this is nitpicky, but say like CCHS cafeteria. It's kind of a
Okay.
nit thing, but I don't know, and maybe add I'm sure everyone knows where it is, but maybe add the address there.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, so instead of Concord Carlisle High School, just CCHS, or do that and then in parentheticals add CCHS?
I was leaning toward just CCHS cafeteria
Okay. So we'll make that update. We'll add the address.
address, and then free food and music will be provided. How, like, are you guys bringing food, or like, how is that gonna play out?
Yeah, it's gonna be more like snacks and things. We're
Okay.
imagining like, waters and granola bars and so we could say light snacks.
Maybe we say snacks, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have
It's gonna be a
audio.
draw. Like, I don't know if that will be a draw for it, right? Like, I guess I don't think you need that.
Okay, so we'll just
Unless
drop
it's
it
gonna be
together.
like substantial snacks and like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
A popcorn machine.
Like, yeah, I would show up and be like, where's the cupcakes, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so maybe we remove that. We'll add the address, change the title for the cafeteria.
And I like the rest of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll make those edits and then we'll share it with you all and John via email.
And then did we have success, sorry, with the QR code? Is that what we were thinking for the yard signs or the website? Cause maybe like if this is something lingering around and like, and we're leaving it at Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, right? We should probably put the website on this flyer.
Yeah, so on the other side, we have the website if it's going to be printed. And then I think instead of having the ability for people to write something in, it would be more of like an about the project itself.
So this isn't getting like we're not gonna mail this to everyone in the zip code. Okay.
Correct, it is not going to be mailed.
Okay.
It's-
Yeah, the
it's a
thinking is that
postcard because- yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
yeah, that it would be available to take, to pass out, to put on a town tabling event, to have at the town hall,
Got it.
to stack at registers in West Concord. Erin, it's like the thing that the takeaway.
Got it.
People could pass around, but not to mail.
Got it.
Yeah, I like your point though, Emily, too, about it being more evergreen. We could it could be that like the front of the postcard could be about there being multiple ways to engage in the process, and we could have April 30th at this time and date, and then put what is it, May 3rd, May 2nd, that there's also the May date, and that the location will be TBD. Check the website for more information.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it may be nice to put both dates on there so we don't have to do another one.
Yep, sounds
Sure.
good.
Unless we can figure out the date or the location, maybe then we can get that all together.
Yes, yeah, May 20th. Thank you. Yeah. And I'm not sure if Shannon was able to get anywhere with the senior center.
It's the last email I saw said they're only available for one of the times. They have it's booked, I guess, the other slot.
Mhm.
Okay.
Did you see that, Emily?
Yeah,
My next suggestion would be the library.
yeah.
It's a little bit smaller, but there's a lot of other
I guess,
space
like,
there, so.
How do you guys feel about having to like pick up and move locations if that's what we end up having to do?
We're pretty flexible. I think the one thing it would, knowing what the space limitations are will just help us plan for that meeting.
Okay.
So we can be flexible.
Should we try to get the library for the whole time? Or do you think if it's not available?
Yeah, we should try to get it for the whole time, I think.
Okay,
And the library has held public workshops before.
yes, this is a Wednesday. Let me just make sure they're open that late.
Crazy idea. Would we ever be able to, do we think it's worth trying to reach out to DOC about having a public meeting at the prison?
you would get a lot of people interested. I don't know how DOC would feel about that. They've been generally pretty
I know.
unhelpful in getting people in there.
My guess is they won't.
Yeah.
I think it would be too much. Like, if you think about how we did our walkthrough,
I
right? We
know.
all, like, check our license like that. I think that will be too. I love the idea.
Yeah, no, I thought that would be cool too, and I think people would show up for that.
Even like, yeah, because I mean, even to access the historic building that is outside of the walls. Oh gosh, that's so hard. Okay. Yep. Sounds good. Just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in a few months when DCAM takes over, who knows? But I would say DOC has not been,
Yeah.
given our tight timeline, that may be
Yep.
a stretch. The library's only open till 8. I don't know if we would think about just shortening the
I think we
workshop.
would shorten the meeting if you all are okay with it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, Erin, do you want to just ask Shannon? I know she's out today, but if she can check in on the library?
Yes, I could also, I have some contacts at the library. I could try
Okay.
to
Great.
reach out to someone.
That'd be great.
Okay. For now, we'll just go ahead and add the library as the location, and then we'll share it with you all and John and just acknowledge that we're working to confirm it. So long as we can confirm it early in the week, then we can go ahead and send these out first thing next week. But maybe what it also means, I mean, I'm curious what you all think about this, but I think it could also be useful for us to have we could use a digital version of this, and we can show you the Instagram version of this in a moment, but a digital version of this that you can just embed in an email
Oh, that's a great idea.
and send to people, because I think that if we could get things out either Friday or over the weekend, it'll be nice for folks to know this is happening on the 30th.
Okay, that's a great idea.
Okay.
And that's probably a distribution to, as we talked about reaching out to the stakeholders, that's probably an easy blast Shannon could make to that whole distribution list.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. And then how have you gone about, so you have your like stakeholder spreadsheet. How have you gone about that outreach? I believe there were certain individuals from the advisory board that were responsible for engagement with those groups. Is that right?
That's right. So the original outreach though just came from the town in general, like, here's who we are, here's what we're doing.
Okay.
That was kind of that. And then, like, as we're trying to engage with individual stakeholders, that's really where it falls on the responsibility of that subcommittee.
Okay.
So we could certainly circulate it to the whole committee. And ask for engagement for direct outreach where relevant.
Yeah, I was wondering, so we met with the town on Wednesday to just, confirm, it was our first meeting with them since we had met on Thursday. So we talked about that, we talked about our next steps with them, and then we talked about also, the various, many committees that are in Concord, are excited to have engagement too. And so I wonder if, that could be a nice moment, and we're happy to draft an email for that, but that would be a nice moment for the advisory board members that are responsible, or the various subcommittees that are responsible for that outreach to the various other committees. If it could be an email to those, essentially an email that says from Dan, for example, that says, we're really, thank you. We're really excited to be, kicking off the MCI work publicly together, with various groups. Here is an embedded JPEG here, this is our first public workshop, but we'd love to meet with you individually too. Your committee, whatever your committee is, let's say it's housing committee, we'd love to have a meeting with you all. Let's, if you're having a meeting that's coming up, would love to engage with that. Or if there's an off meeting you'd like to have, we'd like to engage with that too. So it's it's not just saying, hey, public workshop happenings, share this around, but also we are ready to share our kind of that's a shorter version of the slide deck we shared with you all. We're ready to have that meeting with you and ask you some pointed questions.
Okay, I think that's a great idea. And Linda, I see your hand up. Linda Miller, how are you?
I'm fine. I just wanted to highlight that the chair's breakfast is on the 16th. And that's a really good forum to get to all those committees. I don't know if you could have this postcard ready by then. But I think that would be a nice way to kind of kick off a lot of things that go across throughout the town.
Linda, so sorry, I like, so that the chair's breakfast, that's the chairs of the town committees?
Yes, every chair of any committee in the town is invited.
Okay.
And it's also on Zoom too, I think now. So, you know, certainly you can discuss this. I assume John would go, or probably Dan, Gainsborough. So I don't know who would be going, maybe both of them.
Okay.
And that would be a really quick way to leverage a meeting with a lot of people whose sole purpose is really to do kind of cross committee communications. So
Awesome. Okay. We can, I think if we're able to land the library at the beginning of next week, we could expedite getting the postcards printed and sent to the town by the 16th. And we'll absolutely have the digital version ready. So we can, maybe what we'll do is we'll take that slide deck that we're working on, that summary slide deck, we will share a version of it that includes a couple, like the digital postcard on the slide.
Okay.
For Dan to share.
Okay. The other group of guys who just think about the various stakeholders, like school committee, I know is one I really think we should get in front of, and I guess this is a bit of it has to do with the outreach, but is the school committee a group that you think is important for you to be part of a meeting with, because they could potentially
Yes.
share the thought around like multifamily and what that, how their calculus for students in schools, like, is that important, or is that just sort of a data point that would be helpful for you?
I think that, I know that we can check in with Landwise and confirm. We know that Landwise does want to understand the capacity of the school system to support growth.
Okay.
And understand so that we can, when we assemble scenarios, that we can understand how each of the scenarios respond to that additional capacity that is there.
Okay. Okay. Great. Okay, I'll follow up with them. Yeah, so I don't have anything else on this. Hard.
Okay, so we'll make those edits. We will send that back to you and John. We can pull up the social media version of this.
So we have first image here, second one with info about the open house, and a third one with a website QR code and link. Nice, simple, has all the same elements as the postcard, but in a different format.
And
Yeah.
sorry, this is for the
Social media.
social media.
Yeah,
So I
mostly
guess
for the town.
same comments like the second page of this, right? Let's, I guess, try to make it, well, I guess it's probably easier to switch on social media. If we really want to highlight this event, like focus first on April 30th, and then maybe you have another something that's like down below, there'll be a follow-up on May, whatever.
Correct. Yep, we can do that. We'll make that edit, and then we'll remove the free food and music will be provided.
I think so.
We had also talked about boosting this on Facebook and Instagram. And so if we are doing things like boosting, it's going to be going to folks that aren't civically engaged and that may care about something like free food. Does that change?
So when I read free food and music, I'm imagining like there'll be a band and some heavy acts, or like a
Some high
sing-
expectations, yeah.
Got it. Yep.
Yes.
So yeah, and I think that's where we would say like snacks and Yeah.
Yeah,
Change
so
up for
that's
the
fine. I
audience.
mean, I think if you want to say like compliment, if you, I'll defer to you guys if you think it's
Yep.
important to include on that.
Yeah, it's just in the dinner time hour, what people might expect. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so we'll make that tweak, and then I think we should, Justina, we should probably also drop the QR code since it'll be on social media.
Could I say something about the food and free
Yes.
food?
Yeah.
Just remember Concord has a ban on single serve bottles of water.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
please don't go there.
We will definitely not do that. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
That's helpful.
It's helpful.
what do events like this then do? Like box water?
When we did the MBTA communities, we just got did the Costco run, and we got like bottles of lemonade and cups and cookies. And
I was thinking
that
of cookies,
seemed to be just fine. That's what we did. Yeah.
Yeah, there may I can't remember if there's like a bottle filler or like a water bubbler in that space, at least in the cafeteria, but did you get pictures?
I think there is in the Harvey Wheeler, and I'm pretty sure there is because it's the school cafeteria and kids refill their water bottles and have a bubbler, I believe.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it was in in the cafeteria space or elsewhere, but yeah, probably assume that it is.
When you say single serve water, do you mean all beverages or just water?
Just water.
Okay.
So you could bring like a big jug of water and cups.
Okay. Gotcha. But have like juice boxes.
You can have that.
Love a juice box.
There's
Okay,
also places in town that sell like water in a cardboard box, but
right.
Mm.
I was noticing that. That makes sense now. Okay.
Well, anything else on the social media one?
Can you scroll to the first page of it?
I wonder about, I don't know if it's possible to like make it less tiles. Just because I don't know if people are gonna like scroll through all three to get to the
Mm. So make it
like
more
could you move
like
yeah, maybe
this.
it's like more like that. Yeah. Do you move the date and stuff onto the title?
Consolidate these two.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Erin.
Okay.
And what if, sorry, I'm just like, what if the title becomes like help us reimagine MCI?
Yeah, that's nice. Or let's.
Maybe it's too wordy. I don't know, just
I like that idea. It feels more.
like inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Let's or join us. Yeah.
Like that.
Join us too.
Join us to
Terrible handwriting.
Mhm.
This is not what it'll look like.
Could be slightly smaller too. Than the reimagine.
Mhm.
That'll give us more room.
And so that would also be on the postcard one as well.
Yeah,
So,
I think that'd be good.
yeah.
And then Emily, I get a bunch, I don't know if you get these too. There's a lot of newsletters, mostly centered around the schools, but typically it's like a big like news feed of like, here's all these little snippets of different events that are happening in the community. And I don't know if there's like a version of this that's just like, I don't know, like a little thing that we could get into some of those newsletters
Yeah, so are you thinking like the PT, like the Thoreau? PT?
Yeah, yeah. I'll see
Yeah.
if I have like.
Yeah, that's a good idea, and we could probably like send some, like have Justin Cameron send something out through the middle school, so that's a good idea.
Yeah, there's also like a superintendent's one that comes out once a week.
Yeah. Okay,
I don't know. I can't remember if that has like community events in it or not, but
okay,
um,
okay.
I
Yeah,
can.
so I guess, like, what would you suggest we use for something like that? And is it would probably just be like the front of the postcard, I guess.
I can
Yeah.
I can show you what one looks like if that's
Yeah, that'd be great, Aaron.
helpful. I found one in my email.
And as Aaron's grabbing that, I do think front of the postcard is essentially what we would do. And to your point, like digital things that are provided digitally do not require the same amount. The amount of effort is much smaller, and so we can always edit for the May one.
So there's this newsletter, and then there's all these like events and programs, and it's a lot like related to school stuff, but then there's also like
Erin, can you share your screen?
oh yeah, sorry.
Not seeing it.
Wait, is it working now?
Hmm. Mhm.
Yeah, so it's this is the Thoreau one, but I'm sure the other schools have them too. And there's events, and there's just these little tiles that go in, and then like towards the end, there's sort of like district events, and then community news. So there's like, this was last week, so it was like voting, 250, other things that are happening, the Warner's Pond thing.
Yep, so we could do something similar to Warner's Pond Task Force, but maybe make it a little bit more brief.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, so we've talked about, do we want to, Justina, do you want to pull up the yard signs? We got some
Yes.
great feedback from the town regarding the yard signs. So they had communicated that, like the ban on single-use water, that there is an unspoken ban on lots of yard signs, except around election.
Yeah.
So this is a very simple yard sign. Megan communicated that they could, that we could still take advantage of yard signs. They also have sandwich boards that we could use, but that we'll just want to be thoughtful about where those yard signs happen. I think that what it will mean is that maybe having them, having a couple close to the prison site, having a couple close to town center might be good spaces for them. I'm not sure if you all have any other thoughts about where those could go.
I mean, I'm surprised there's an unofficial ban, because there's always yard signs for different things.
Yeah.
Well,
not
it's
just
the-
election.
On
So
private property is
okay, I
allowed,
see,
but
I
on
see.
public property, they try to limit. Yeah.
Okay.
So I
So
guess
we
I would
could-
say like prison,
I've seen them at the schools. It's technically public sites, but there's definitely been other ones there in the
the
past.
schools would be great to have them. I think in West Concord Center, by the train, and Concord Center by the train. I'm forgetting what you call that little triangle of grass in West Concord, Aaron, by the pond across.
Oh, it's got like it's like something square, but
Yeah, it's got like,
it was news to me that it had a name.
it has a name.
Uh,
Anyway, like someplace like that, I can
yeah.
like, yeah, but so,
Yep. Yeah, the way that we discussed it was that we would create this very simple sign so that you can drive past it and see it pretty easily. You can walk past it, grab the QR code. But simplicity is key with the yard signs. And then we would create the yard signs, and then we would have the town deploy. We can identify, I think we can share this kind of like a long list of places that we imagine it could happen, and then work with the town to confirm locations.
Like ride out probably.
Emerson.
Would you ever, I know this is a lot, putting a lot of information. I don't know if you'd consider putting the dates, just so people like know it's coming up and they should move faster if they're interested, then like,
Like
I
May
know when I see
30th.
stuff like this, I don't really
Perfect.
like go quickly to the QR code.
Yeah.
I guess like if we want to
Nice.
try to reuse these
Yeah, it's true.
over the next 10 years. Yeah, but are you saying like, is there another way we could like do something to create some urgency around it?
Yeah, I mean, in the past, what we've done is we'll like add
Could-
something to the sign to make it, so like, to Erin's point, we could have at the bottom, you know, join us for public meeting, public meeting or public workshops, April 30th and May 28th. And then if we do want to reuse them, if we do have more engagement milestones past those dates, then we could print new, like new sign pieces that would just get stuck on top.
Okay,
Yeah, like a sticker, like a bumper
Yeah.
sticker size, something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think you have to go through all the location and all that stuff, but if people at least know that something's happening soon, maybe they'll do a little more research.
Sense the urgency. Yeah. Agree. Okay, so we can make the edits to this, we can make the edits to the postcards and the digital posts. We'll share those with you this afternoon so that you and John can weigh in on any additional edits you have. What else? And then we can assemble that kind of draft text that we imagine we would send, we want advisory board members to send to that stakeholder list that you all had amassed
okay.
too.
Okay. I'm seeing. So Erin, I can follow up with the board on addressing, if you want, sort of the chair's breakfast you brought up.
Yeah. That was Linda, but yeah.
So I'll follow up with the school committee. I'm working with the PTG to schedule something. And then so you'll also include something that we can put in sort of the outreach from like the example Erin showed us.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay.
I reached out to the library, see what happens.
Okay, that sounds great. Linda, any comments from either of you?
I'm good. If you
Okay.
can be of help, let us know.
Thanks for joining us.
I am too. Thanks for
Thank
all you're
you.
doing.
We'll expect to see you at the high school with lemonade and cookies. Bring my dad.
Thank you. Thanks all. We'll
bye-bye.
send
Thank
those
you.
materials over to you this afternoon.
All right, take care.
Take care,
Great.
thanks.
Thank you. Bye all.
Yeah.